rules live on city websites. And that results in a lot of parking tickets. Consumers spend $40 billion in parking tickets globally on an annual basis. Part of the reason is that we get a lot of parking tickets is that there are overlapping parking rules or rules that apply to, say, you take a metered parking space, you come in at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, it's resident permit parking, but you're not aware of that. You feed the meter for 2 hours, and you get a $50 parking ticket. There are several parking restrictions by vehicle type that people are not aware of. There's commercial vehicles that can park in certain places. Commercial, when I've had conversations with different commercial vehicle operators, and I say where are the 5 legal places that you can park, none of them are aware of the fact that in Boston they can actually park for 1 hour at a no parking, where a street sign says no parking. But that particular rule is buried on the city website. So unless you're actually reading the parking rules that live on the city website, you have no idea. Signs can be very confusing. What ends up happening is people will feed a meter because they're confused about the language, or they'll park in a situation and they're going to get a parking ticket because they didn't just understand what the rules are. So ParkMe has a number of different solutions that will help a consumer or understand what are the parking rules when they take a parking space in advance of taking the parking space. A lot of the information that's relevant to a specific parking space comes from both information that's posted on the street and information that's posted on the city website. And so when you take a parking space, wouldn't it be nice to know not only the rules that are posted on the street, but the rules that are posted on the website? So because there are overlapping parking rules, in our product, we have created a way for you to actually view in advance of taking a parking space what is the overlapping parking rules so that you know the day, the time, what the parking violation is, what the cost of the parking ticket is. So that in advance of actually taking the parking space, you have all of the parking information in the palm of your hand. There are all sorts of nearby parking alternatives, and because we collect the data ourselves, we're a data company, we go out and actually geotag and photograph every single sign and create zones so that consumers can, in this product, on their mobile phone, understand what are the parking options and what are the parking rules. We have a number of different products that will leverage the data that we collect in order to help you understand all of your parking options and what are the parking rules, such as a parking widget, which is a product that lives on a business's website to help online motorists, customers understand what the parking rules are and what the parking options are when they visit a specific business. The parking app will help motorists understand where they can park and all their parking rules when they actually need parking beyond the location of a specific business. We have a university that we use to teach data collectors how to collect the data. And we have a number of revenue sources. The parking app, we charge $5 annual subscription. The parking widget is $250 annual subscription. We charge testing fees for teaching data collectors, $25 to take the final exam. And the first product that we're going to be launching at the end of February is a product that will live on a business's website to help motorists, online motorists, understand where they can park when they visit a business. We're going to simply add a button that's missing, I believe, on every business website, which is called directions and parking. You can imagine every time you seek to park your wheels when you go to visit a business, if you could just press the directions and parking and get all the parking information that you need when you visit that business. I'll open it up to questions.
Do you have anything that allows you to figure out the cheapest Is there any concept of socially driven data? So is there any way for a user to send in information that maybe a rule or a sign has changed in a specific area?
That's a very, very good point. The initial release does not offer that, but I believe that it's very, very important to get the user interaction so that, because we'll be collecting the data between the beginning of the time that we collect the data and 4 months later, inevitably cities will install a new sign, and if we can get a motorist to actually report in between that there's a new rule that came in, then we would be able to get that user input.
You have a competitor with the exact same name. How do you plan on distinguishing the two?
That's a very good question. There's another company called ParkMe, and they're focused on garages predominantly, and they have a very different business model. They are after getting revenue from the garages specifically. Our goal is to actually be able to help a motorist understand all of the parking rules, not just garage information. And I think that we have some dialogue going back and forth between them, so I think that there's an opportunity potentially to work together.
Do you have any kind of like a hot map that says, like, some neighborhoods, the enforcement is really, really instantaneous and like data square, and other neighborhoods, you can park there all afternoon, notice but Holly. Do you have any kind of way?
I think that's getting user input and so having a platform that allows the user to be able to interact with other users and to be able to get that kind of information. I was on Yelp and I was looking at possibly talking to Yelp about the idea because they get a lot of user, and by integrating possibly with Yelp, that might be a really good instead of reinventing the wheel, doing it ourselves. Over there.
The App Store, the Apple, Android, what the platforms? The app.
So, very good question. Okay. So the parking app, we anticipate we're going to partner with businesses. We're going to build it as a web app so that we can actually share proceeds with businesses that actually install the parking widget. So when you buy a parking widget for $250, then you have an opportunity as a motorist to go to the website and see a commercial of the footprint of the parking widget and purchase that parking app for $5. And we share that revenue with the business, which then incents them to help market us as well. In the back.
Yeah, do you have a filter for out-of-state drivers? Because at least in Boston, if you don't have a Massachusetts license plate, you can't get a residence sticker. So it makes most streets unavailable.
Right. That's a very the parking app. We register everybody. Everyone has their own My Account, and in the My Account, we get whether they've got handicap parking, which vehicle they're driving, whether they're a residence sticker, whether they have handicap accessible, parking that they're allowed. They've got a placard, and then what we do is when someone pulls into basically, a geofence gets pulled around you, so that as you pull into a neighborhood, if you happen to be driving a motorcycle, then all the motorcycle filters automatically pull down so that you know exactly where you can park your motorcycle. If you happen to have a special needs person and you're driving a handicapped vehicle, then all the handicap opportunities present themselves. If you happen to be a Back Bay resident and you're parking in the Fenway, then it's going to tell you you can't park it because you don't have a residence sticker. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so there is for like if you're coming from other places and you don't like.
There's full support for that feature. Yes. In the back.
Go ahead. How are you guys going to handle streets that, there could be 5 or 6 different segments on one street where you can park for 20 feet and then you can't park and then you can park again and then you can't park?
What we do is we have a data collection platform that allows us to collect the data extremely accurately, and then we have an algorithm that plays on the back that allows us to create zones. So based on your location, and you can be very specific about your location because you can drop it on a satellite or a standard view map. You can type in the address that you're at, or you can simply just hit GPS and find me here, and it's going to be able to pull out the exact location and reference that against the rules that we've collected for that specific location.
And is there going to be any type of a guarantee that if you tell me I can park here and I get a ticket?
You know the old saying with guarantees, death and taxes. So there's no guarantee. Because what happens is the city can come in the day after we collect the data and and change it.
Yeah, I mean, I just see that if, at least on an iPhone app or a mobile app where people could do instant feedback, that if you guys get like 4 or 5 people that get parking tickets, you're gonna get slammed on reviews.
I think user feedback, from the question that was in the front of the room earlier about getting some feedback, and also the question that was in the other part of the room when they talked about user interaction, and I think that will solve a lot of those kind of problems.
I think in the interest of time, we're going to leave it